If you're looking for Facebook ad video size and best practice, you've come to the right place because my name is Sydney and today I'm going to be talking about Facebook ad video size and best practices. So before we get started, if you don't already know who I am an agency owner at Vertex Marketing Agency, and we do Facebook ads. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, you should definitely do that right now. And if you get value from this video, definitely give it a thumbs up and I really appreciate it. All right, so let's talk about Facebook ad video sizes and best practices. So if you go over to facebook.com and look at their guide section, they have all the information that you need to be able to tell what you need for your videos. But I have a little bit of a tip to give you guys. So of course you can use MP4, MOV, or GIF files. GIFs are not very good quality, so although you can use them, they're not very good quality. Now the recommended ratio for videos on both Facebook and Instagram, they say here, is a 1:1 or a 4:5 for mobile only. Because on stories is a 1920 by 1080 ratio, which is a 16:9. Of course, here it does say the resolution should be at least 1080 by 1080, which make it a 1:1. And for a 4:5, I like to put it at 1200 pixels by 1500 pixels. Now, the way that each of these are going to look is going to be a bit different, obviously. So a 1080 by a 1080, it's going to be a square, right? 1080 by 1080. Now, when a square goes into a story, it doesn't take up that much room, and best practice is to be taking up as much room as possible. Now, this right here, this example is only a still image. I don't want to be too distracting, so just pretend it's a video, okay? And I'll actually have a tip for if you only have images for your brand or for a client's brand, what to do with that and how you can turn it into a video. The problem with making all of your creatives square is that when you put it onto a story, then it's not going to be optimized for that position. Although it used to be best practice to just make videos 1080 by 1080, and even the 16:9, which is a little bit even smaller, is what they used to say in the past was the best size. But because of stories now, it's actually completely different. Now, again, stories we know is a really great placement to have. You can see a lot of conversions in this area because people are so used to that swipe up feature. But what happens is that if you make a video that is specifically for stories, when you try to put it on newsfeed, which is actually the best placement to get conversions, your video is either going to be smaller because it has to cut the corners to the top and bottom to make a square, or you're gonna have to add some padding to the outside so that the video fits. Which on stories, it can look amazing, but I've found that when I'm working with brands or with businesses that don't have a huge budget or a huge production team or time even to make videos specifically for stories and specifically for newsfeed. And what I've found to be the best solution is to make every video that you have in a 4:5 ratio, which would be 1200 by 1500 pixels. And this will allow you to have a really great view while it's in story and also a really great view while it's on a newsfeed. And both Instagram and Facebook support the 4:5 ratio. In plain images, Instagram only supports 1080 by 1080 at the moment, currently August 2021. So if you're using just a still image, then you would have to use a 1:1 ratio for Instagram. But if you turn it into a video, if you have a still image just like this one and you want to turn it into a video, all you need to do is add animation to that image, such as text, typing, things that come in, maybe the logo appears and then disappears. Maybe you have some little animation like fireworks coming out. If you can add some sort of animation into your image, then it will turn it into a video, and then on Instagram and even stories, it'll take up more room and it'll have that motion to move it. The reason I recommend, or another reason that I recommend the 1200 by 1500 or the 4:5 ratio is because you always want to be making your content mobile first. So although here it says that the 4:5 is only for mobile first, what happens when that video, the 4:5 ratio, shows up on a desktop on Facebook is going to add a little bit of a black space on each side of it to make up for that space missed because unfortunately Facebook doesn't have the power at the moment to actually just make it the whole screen like it does on mobile. So that's the only downside. And when you do make a video that is 9:16, it gets even smaller, right? And although it does look like something that's taken on your phone, it is mobile first. I just find that if they are on desktop, which people are typically on desktop on Facebook, not so much Instagram, on Facebook, and if they see that, I find that a lot of black space can be distracting, and you want to be taking up as much room as possible. Although Square does that, I think the 1200 by 1500 makes it much more versatile for all of the placements, and you don't have to personalize it for each one of them. Now, if you did want to learn more about making mobile first Facebook ads, I do have a video on it, so you can check that out. But I just want to talk about the Facebook ad video size for this video. So this is a pretty short video. I hope that helped out. But the main takeaway is to use the 4:5 ratio for the simplest, fastest, easiest way to make video ads on Facebook. So that's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next video.